On my daughter's birthday, I realized that 43 years of motherhood were just a long preparation for the most painful lesson of my life. I stood in front of her house in an upscale West Palm Beach neighborhood, smoothing the turquoise dress I'd bought specifically for this day. In my hands, I held a cake, an almond masterpiece from a French bakery that I had saved for 3 months to afford. $200 for a dessert that, I hoped, would bring back that childhood smile to Eleanor's face. I helped buy this mansion 5 years ago. $800,000. All my savings from decades of extra lectures and tutoring went toward the down payment. I looked at the panoramic windows and the infinity pool, feeling pride mixed with a faint bitterness. In my other hand, I clutched a silver box with my mother's pearl necklace, the legacy of 3 generations of strong women, I thought then, having no idea that in half an hour, this legacy would turn into dust. When the door opened, I saw no joy. Eleanor stood on the threshold, her eyes glued to her smartphone. "Oh, it's you," she muttered, without even looking me in the eye. No hug, no kiss. I entered the house feeling like a delivery courier, bringing an order that the customer no longer wanted. "Happy birthday, darling." I tried to put all the warmth I had left into my voice. "I brought your favorite cake and something special." Eleanor sighed heavily as if my very presence was a tiresome obstacle in her perfect schedule. "Put it in the kitchen. I need to finish this call," she said, turning away. I walked into the spacious kitchen, finished with Italian marble, another gift from me after their renovation. Outside, the twins, my 11-year-old grandsons, were splashing in the pool with a trainer. They didn't even turn their heads. The house was full of echoes and expensive furniture, but there was absolutely no room for me in it. 15 minutes later, Eleanor finally deigned to enter. She looked flawless. Perfect blonde hair, manicure, expensive makeup. All of this was funded by her aesthetic medicine clinic, for which I had taken out a loan against my own apartment 8 years ago. $350,000 that she promised to pay back, but forgot immediately after the first profit. "Well," she asked, grabbing a bottle of water from the fridge, "are you just dropping off the cake? Or are you planning to impose yourself for dinner?" The words hit me like a physical blow. I thought we would spend time together. "We haven't seen each other for almost 2 months, Eleanor." My daughter rolled her eyes. Her face tightened, like the calm before a storm. "I have plans," she snapped, staring back at her phone. "Marcus is taking me to the ocean's edge, just the 2 of us." Marcus, her third husband, was a man whose investment projects always required my money during his frequent crises. The last time was 3 weeks ago. $60,000 for an urgent deal. Money I had set aside for a surgery I ended up never scheduling. "I see," I replied quietly. "Maybe we can have lunch tomorrow?" "Mom, we need to talk. Sit down," I obeyed. Everything inside me tightened with pain. I knew that tone. It was the way she spoke as a child before intentionally breaking my favorite vase just to test the limits of my patience. "I've been thinking a lot lately," she began, swirling the water in her glass, "about life, about happiness, about what I truly need." I nodded, trying to look encouraging. "Of course, honey. Tell me. Maybe I can help?" Eleanor set the glass down with a dull thud and looked me straight in the eyes. In her gaze, there was no anger or irritation. There was pure, crystallized contempt. "The only thing I truly want for my birthday," she said slowly, savoring every word, "is for you to just disappear from my life. Or even better, for you to just die." The world froze. The air in the room became thick as lead. I tried to say something, but my throat felt as if it had been cut by a blade. "What?" I whispered. "You heard me," she continued with calculated coldness. "I'm tired of you, Mom. Tired of the calls, the visits, the old-fashioned advice. You're suffocating me with your emotional neediness." My hands began to shake. 74 years of life, 43 years as her mother. And I was standing in a house I paid for, listening to my only daughter wish for my death. Eleanor, I gave you everything. I sacrificed everything. I managed to choke out. Exactly. She jumped up. And now you expect me to be your eternal debtor? I need space, freedom. Live your own life and leave me alone. I looked at the birthday cake. The candles were still in the box. All my dreams for this day, the laughter, the shared memories, vanished like smoke. But Eleanor, you're all I have. And that is your main problem. She cut me off. Deal with your life yourself. Get out. I stood up, my legs buckling. I took my bag and the pearls. The cake remained on the table. At the door, I turned back, hoping to see at least a drop of remorse. But I saw only impatience. She couldn't wait to get back to her life, free from the burden I had suddenly become. Happy birthday, Eleanor, I whispered and walked out, quietly closing the door behind me. My daughter didn't know that at that moment she hadn't just kicked me out. She had awakened a fire that had been dormant for decades. I sat in my small car, parked 2 blocks from my daughter's house. My hands were still shaking, but a frightening, icy clarity had settled in my head. Eleanor's words, "Deal with your life yourself," echoed in time with my heartbeat. Well, I would do exactly that. But not in the way she expected. First, I pulled out a notebook. As a history professor for 40 years, I was used to working with facts, not emotions. On the first page, I wrote, Catherine Miller, disappearance plan. Over the last 10 years, I had become nothing more than an ATM with a free nanny function for Eleanor and her husband, Marcus. I started calculating the costs, the mansion down payment, $800,000, her clinic loan, $350,000, Marcus's investments, a total of about $200,000, private school tuition for the twins for 2 years, $90,000. In total, nearly $1.5 million. My daughter lived in luxury built on my bones, yet wished me dead to escape the weight of gratitude. I returned to my small apartment, which I technically still shared with the bank because of Eleanor's debts. In the mailbox, I found a notice of overdue payment for the clinic's loan. Eleanor had forgotten to transfer the funds again. Enough, I whispered to the empty room. I called Dorothy, an old friend and a high-end real estate lawyer in London. We hadn't spoken much in years because Eleanor always mocked her, calling her a bitter old woman. Kathy? Dorothy's voice sounded surprised. Are you alive? I thought you had completely dissolved into your princesses. Problems. I told her everything. I want to sell everything I own, Dorothy, and I want to do it fast. She wished me dead, Dorothy, on her birthday. She said I was her main problem. There was a pause. Then it's time to become her real catastrophe, Dorothy replied with steely support. Fly to London next week. We'll sign the papers. For the next 3 weeks, I lived like a spy in my own home. I continued to answer Eleanor's dry messages like, Mom, where's the school money? Or, Marcus needs $5,000 by Friday. I replied, I'm working on it, dear. In reality, I was working on something else. Thanks to Dorothy's connections, I found an investor to buy my apartment for cash. But that wasn't the main thing. I remembered the collateral right of claim clauses in the contracts I had them sign years ago. Back then, Eleanor signed them without looking, laughing that I was such a formalist. Now, that formality became my primary weapon. I began the process of recalling my investments. Legally, I could demand immediate repayment if payments were missed 3 times. On the night before I left, I bought a new suitcase, expensive red leather. I packed only the essentials, documents, my mother's pearls, a few favorite books, and an old photo album from when Eleanor was a little girl who truly loved me. I looked at my reflection. Gray hair, wrinkles from eternal worry. Catherine, I told myself, you aren't dying. You are simply leaving the room where you aren't loved. I withdrew. My last $50,000 in cash, my secret rainy day fund. In the morning, I sent Eleanor one last message. Money sent. Take care of your business. Love you. It was a lie. The money wasn't sent to her. It went to my new British bank account. As the plane lifted off from Florida, I closed my eyes. I knew that in a few days, when the bank sent notices of account freezes and foreclosure, the phone in my empty apartment would ring incessantly. But I wouldn't be there. London welcomed me with gray skies and the scent of wet asphalt, which felt like the fragrance of absolute freedom. While I sipped tea in Dorothy's cozy living room on Baker Street, a real storm was beginning in sunny Florida. "Are you ready to see the fruits of your labor?" Dorothy turned her laptop toward me. "Your lawyer in Miami sent a report. The clinic's accounts are frozen. A lien has been placed on the equipment, which technically belongs to your holding company." I looked at the numbers and felt no pity, only the cold satisfaction of a surgeon removing a tumor. Meanwhile, in West Palm Beach, Eleanor woke up at 11. She planned a spa day and a pool party, but her gold card was declined. "There must be a mistake," she told the courier and tried another card. Declined again. She called Marcus, but he didn't pick up. He was at the bank, pale as a ghost, hearing that his investment account was blocked due to a lawsuit from Catherine Miller. An hour later, Eleanor was at the clinic. Men in suits stood at the entrance. "Miss Eleanor? We are representatives of the Liquidation Commission. Your mother has recalled her guarantees and demanded immediate repayment of $1.2 million. "You're crazy!" she screamed. "This is my clinic. My mother is a crazy old woman. She's just offended over a trifle." But the lawyer remained calm. "She's already done it. And by the way, your house is up for auction. You have 48 hours to pack." Eleanor's hands shook as she dialed my number. 10 times, 20. But my old American number was disconnected forever. She sent desperate messages. "Mom, what are you doing? You want to leave us on the street?" "I didn't mean it when I said that about dying. You know my temper. Stop acting like a child." She didn't understand. I wasn't mommy anymore. I was a creditor who had come to collect. That evening, Marcus, realizing the gravy train had derailed, simply didn't come home. He took his watches and remaining cash and left. Eleanor alone in a dark mansion where the electricity had already been cut off for non-payment. In London, I bought a new cashmere coat, the color of the midnight sky. "What will you do next?" Dorothy asked over dinner. "I've always wanted to write a book about forgotten women in history," I smiled. "Women who built empires while staying in the shadows of their children. It turns out, I'm a perfect example for the first chapter." I looked at my new phone. No messages. I had blocked Eleanor everywhere. Not out of anger, but to let her be free. 3 years passed. Scotland became not just a refuge, but the cradle of a new identity. In a small cottage on the outskirts of Inverness, I finally found the silence I had lacked all my life. My book, Shadows of Empires, became a bestseller in the UK and was translated into 5 languages. I was no longer Eleanor's mom. I was Catherine Miller, a writer whose words carried weight. Dorothy visited often. Over wine by the fireplace, she shared news from my past life. Eleanor hadn't survived the fall well. Without my support, her clinic was sold at auction. Marcus had divorced her and moved to Europe with a younger woman. The twins were now in a regular public school. They said Eleanor had to move into a modest rented apartment and work as a simple esthetician for hire. She, who once looked down on ordinary people, had become one of them. Last week, I received an email at an address only Dorothy knew. The sender was my daughter. My fingers froze. My heart, which once broke at the thought of her, now felt only a slight, sad sting. "Mom," she wrote, "I read your book. I found lines about women betrayed by those closest to them, and for the first time, I felt truly afraid. I realized that I was one of those who dealt the blows. There were no requests for money." She described how hard every cent came to her now, and how she finally understood the price of the sacrifices I had made for decades. "I'm not asking you to come back," she continued. "After everything I said, I don't deserve your forgiveness. I just wanted to say that I know now you weren't my burden. You were my foundation. When I destroyed it, my world collapsed. Be happy, Mom. You deserve it." I stared at the screen for a long time. Could I forgive her? Perhaps. But go back to that life? Never. We often confuse forgiveness with returning to old roles. I forgave Eleanor because I no longer let her words hurt me. But the bridge was burned and the ashes had long since scattered over the Atlantic. My disappearance was the best gift for both of us. It gave me a chance to live in dignity, and her a chance to finally grow up. I closed my laptop and walked out onto the terrace. The sun was setting over the hills, painting the sky in the same turquoise tones as my dress on that fateful birthday. But now, it didn't remind me of pain. It reminded me of the sky above, which finally belonged to me. Sometimes, to find yourself, you must have the courage to get lost for everyone else. I got lost, and it was the most beautiful thing that ever happened to me.